So have you guys heard of Friedrich Robert Helmert? Helmert, who was he? Why should I care? Well, he was a German surveyor and a statistics professor. He lived from 1843 to 1917. He wrote a two-volume set in German called Higher Geodesy. It's been translated into English. Geodesy is the measurement of Earth, and specifically, it's the measurement of Earth that goes into constructing the globe. And note that I said constructing the globe because it's constructed from mathematics. Helmert's Higher Geodesy in two volumes spans like 800 pages or so. It's massive, absolutely massive. But it's not unintelligible. There is quite a bunch of calculus and statistics involved. He walks through many mathematical processes, but his narration of it is quite accessible to anybody who understands how to communicate. And the English translations are by no means any more difficult to understand than the German is for the Germans. So Helmert basically defined geodesy as the science of measurement and mapping of the surface of Earth. And he breaks it down into about 10 steps or so, but more broadly into three. Step one, you measure the lumpy surface. So use angles and distances. Step two, you observe the gravity vector via astronomy. There's a lot baked into that one. And step three, you reduce or combine both of these into a single mathematical surface called an ellipsoid. And you do this by correcting for the deflection of the vertical. So what does that mean, right? So for the first part, when you're measuring a lumpy surface using angle and distance markers, you have to determine the physical surface features of Earth in front of you, right? So you'll use your sextant, your compass, whatever means you have. You're going to be measure deviations, mountains and valleys, and irregular coastlines. You're going to conform to something called the law of formation. So you're going to be using planar geometry during this process. You're going to be measuring quantities of parts of the Earth that are visible, and you're going to go beyond what's visible, which means you're going to go to distant markers and you're going to measure your markers from there and continue on in kind of a leapfrogging fashion. And each time you're going to set yourself up, you're going to measure points of observation in the distance, you're going to write them down, you're going to measure your angles between them, and continue on and continue on. So you're building a network of surveys. And at this point, all of your surveys are perpendicular to the horizontal and horizontal to the perpendicular. You're going to use plumb lines to measure your vertical. You're going to go on and on and on. Right now, there's absolutely no globe that is being measured through this part of the process. And the second step is when the globe starts to make its entry. Okay, they're going to do what's called observing the gravity vector using astronomy. So how do you do that? Well, it corresponds to using your plumb line that you measure without using astronomy to using your plumb line with astronomy. What do I mean by that? So what they do is you know what a plumb line is, right? You take a fishing line or something and you put a weight at the bottom of it. You hold the fishing line up, and that plumb line is going to be perfectly vertical. Here's the issue. Let's say that you have a mirrored surface using a plate of mercury, as they did back in the olden days, or just a plain mirror on the ground. You hold a plumb line above it, and you wait basically for a certain star to be at a certain location at a certain time. And let's say, for the sake of this, for simplicity, for describing the principle, that you know that at a certain point in time, that this star is going to be directly in line with your vertical plumb line, such that if your plumb line that you're holding above the mirror could extend all the way up into outer space and touch that star, that it's a straight line, that would be called an astrogeodetic plumb line. It would be as if you could go to outer space, go to the star, and drop your plumb line, boop, all the way down to Earth. And when you look down in the mirror underneath your plumb, you can see the star directly above. Forms a perfect vertical. Now, here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing about that. During these astronomical observations, the zenith point that you're looking for may not always be exactly at the point that is predicted. So that star that you're waiting for to be right above your plumb line at a very specific point in time may not be there, may be off by a little bit. So, what do you do with that data? Well, because you are a geodetic surveyor, not just a normal surveyor, you're going to write down that variance. You scribble it down on your piece of paper. At this point in time, I expected the star to be above, but it was off by, like 12 arc seconds of degree, blah, 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 blah. And you know what you're going to do with that? You're going to imagine the globe, and you're going to imagine a gravity well that is bending the starlight. Because by golly, that star actually is above your plumb line at that point in time. It doesn't appear to be because gravity's bending the starlight, but it really is, and we know that it really is, but we know that pesky gravity's getting in the way and is bending that starlight, preventing you from being able to make that perfect prediction. So you note that down. You're going to take those observations, by the way, and combine them with your planar observations you did earlier in step 1. And in step 1, I forgot to mention, you're going to be noting dip angle and refraction conditions, which are also, by the way, conditioned on there being a globe. Right, so you're going to observe any points of interest in the distance that aren't exactly where they should be by your assumption. And you're going to think that refraction could be responsible for moving them into the position that you actually see them. All right, so this is all happening, right? And it's happening within such extremely tight tolerances of measurements that you might not actually have the ability, given your instrumentation, to determine whether or not these things are true variables, exceptions, or whether or not these are actually true measurements. You got this fudge factor you're working with refraction from step 1 and with deflection of the vertical in step 2. So you're going to take all these measurements, and let me tell you, you're going to take as many measurements as you possibly can get your hand on. So you're going to take as many planar measurements from step 1, as many vertical measurements of step 2, and you're going to take all of these. And then in step 3, guess what you get to do? You get to pick out a globe that you want to use. Yeah, that's right. You get to pick one out. They're not all the same. They have different radii. They have different semi-major and minor axes. Some of them are flattened a bit more than others. Some might be more prolate than others. Some of their axes may be tilted or off-centered relative to the other. Yeah, they get a bit weird. But you get to pick one. It's called a reference ellipsoid. And you know what you do with step 1 and 2? You perform a mathematical operation, extremely complex. You take your planar measurements and your errors, and your plumb measurements and your errors, and you statistically cram them in using math such that you could explain what you observed as if you're on the ellipsoid that you chose. And if there's enough error within your calculations and measurements, you get to have that. You get to have your globe. You get to take all of these and you get to wrap it around a ball. That's what happens. That is what Helmert described doing. And what's funny is he thought he was completely justified in explaining this process. He wasn't trying to hide a flat Earth or cover up a flat Earth or pretend that Earth is a globe. He sincerely believes in a globe. And he did with such profound definition that he created this entire body of work to allow you to take your observable flat Earth reality and make a globe out of it. You take that celestial sphere and you bend your plumb line. You take that horizon and you refract it. You use as much as you need, as much as you can possibly explain. You can have your globe. You don't need much. Because at every instance, at every station of measurement, you only need to be about 99.77% accurate over 69 miles square. And you can have your globe. Isn't that amazing? F.R. Helmert, everybody, the father of modern geodesy, of geodetic surveying. Any questions or comments from the audience? No? That's fine, because I have a meeting in about 2 minutes.
Posted one.
Yeah, Helmert. He was the master globe apologist. You bet. You bet he was. It's amazing, guys. Like, it's amazing because you can read what they wrote down and how they thought about doing this. And they were justified. They felt they were justified in constructing a globe. They're delusional, folks. It's almost scarier than a conspiracy theory. They're delusional. Everybody is freaking delusional. It's an urban myth. You know, it's like the Aztecs, right? Like, why do we have to sacrifice this child on the first rainfall of the new year? Why? Because it will bring spring. Why? Because every time we sacrifice this person, we get spring afterwards. So we have to keep doing it, because if we don't do it, what if spring doesn't come? And then what? You want all the farmers to die? You want all of us to die? We'll get no food. We'll have no harvest season that comes afterwards if we can't have any sowing season. We have to have spring. So we have to perform this Aztecian human sacrifice, guys.
I smell a Disney movie.
You know? It's the same pattern, the same form of logic. It's freaking insane. All right, I'll be back later. Got to go on mute.
Thanks, Yoder.
I want to hear it.
That's easy.
Go on.
Have at him, lads.
Oh, so you're back.
Hey, converted to the Islamic religion recently,
Might as
haven't
well
you?
be. You know.
You just got back from evening prayer, so he's just off to it.
Wait,
No, mate,
isn't England like a Muslim country?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Pretty
so you're Muslim.
I might as well be.
Yeah. That's cool. Welcome all the Muslims, brothers
not
and
Muslim.
sisters.
I'm not
The
Muslim.
mausoleums.
please.
Just kidding. Check on the new people, Radwin. Do your job. Come on.
I'm doing my chat. I got to keep people occupied. They're asking me for scientists and all this, so I gave them a scientist. The one who debunked gravity. We lied to you about gravity, but now they're going to find out that gravity's just made up.
What do you think about that 011? What have you gathered from since you've been here? I've heard you a few times, and we engaged for a bit. But
Yeah.
give me like a resume. How do you say? Short
011. 3.
Yeah.
Why are you at 3?
Sorry. Gemsy, could you repeat yourself? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Just can you give me what have you gathered out of this channel? Like a compact version of everything. Go ahead.
To be honest, a few things really. I've understood the tools which measure the Earth, the levelness of the Earth. I believe it was Triggering Triangle who said he personally measured the Earth with a device. I cannot remember the exact name of it, but he measured it. He measured the levelness, and he said there's no curve. There's a few things I've picked up. I can't remember exactly what I've picked up, but that's why I'm here, to keep on learning. I'm just trying to educate myself, to be honest. That's the honest answer, and that's why I'm back, because I'm here to educate myself. Obviously, gravity's a theory, cannot be proven. We all know that.
Or defined, even. Can you even define what? Yeah, just so what is?
The way I look at it is, if an object is denser than the air around it, it will drop. So yeah.
That's an interesting definition.
I mean, that's the simplified version I have in my head. If you guys could expand on that, I'd love to know more.
It's as simple as it gets, though, right? I don't think anyone's going to deny the phenomenon thing, and it falls in the way that you described. Or conversely, something would rise if the conditions and the object were different, for example. No one's going to argue with that. We're just going to argue about the cause because it's associated with sphere, and that would mean of the Earth would curve. The surface of the Earth doesn't curve, so the gravitational idea, for example, the creation of the Earth and other planets, everything pulling towards the center of mass, that idea has been debunked just because of the measurement of the surface of the Earth. We don't claim to know what gravity is. We just point out what everybody else points out. They don't know what gravity is.
Fair enough.
Say gravity is a theory. What does that actually mean?
A theory is something that doesn't have evidence, I believe. It doesn't have, like, evidence to support it. It's kind of like... Don't really know how to explain it.
Help me with this one.
Pardon?
When he described gravity as a theory, is that... I mean, we're in the English channel, so I'm just want to see if that actually how you use it. Gravity is a theory. Is that the correct way to say it, Jedi?
No, he didn't say scientific theory. If it was a scientific theory, it would be based on scientific hypotheses that have been validated through an experiment. Then you can base your theory upon things that you've proven to be true. This is more like a colloquial theory, like an idea, because really you can't do any of the science. It's just an idea to explain. Usually comes along with the mathematics, which is the language that helps you explain your idea. So it's a theory.
Okay.
It's not a scientific theory. So I've got an idea.
Right. Because you can't measure it, can you?
Measure what?
You can't measure gravity.
What do you mean? We can measure
like
the rate of objects falling, right?
Yeah, but that's not gravity.
But that's the phenomena of the object dropping, and we can measure its rate of acceleration to the 8 meters per second squared.
So Do you think gravity exists or doesn't?
What's okay? So 2 things, right? Gravity, either the phenomenon that we observe, the thing falling down, or the cause of the phenomena making it fall down. Now we all observe the phenomena. I'm not saying there's a cause.
Okay. You see, when I think of it, right, I think of gravity, this theory that Isaac Newton discovered. This thing of like this force pulling down objects into the center of the Earth.
That's
You
a
know, they
law
say-
of gravity.
Let
Newton.
me speak, please.
Yeah, you got it wrong. Okay, Newton.
No, I'm explaining. No.
law
This
of
is not
gravity.
what I believe. I'm just making a point. Please let me speak.
Okay, yeah, but when you're off, okay, you're just dead wrong. That if you talk about Newton, that's the law of gravity.
Yeah,
Einstein gave us a theory of gravity.
Okay, my apologies.
Yeah,
My
just
apologies.
so you're on the right. Make sure you're on the right footing before you step.
Right. Okay, thank you for that. Back to what I was saying. So the theory of gravity, whatever they call it, it's the idea of big objects pulling smaller objects towards them. For example, they say NASA will say Jupiter has huge gravitational field. It holds all the planets in place, right? So this theory of big objects pulling smaller objects towards the center, to me, it sounds a bit debatable. If I look at it in a kind of obvious way, the way I see it, right? You're holding a ball, you drop that ball, it drops. Why does it drop? Because it's denser than the things around it, the air around it, the oxygen, whatever it is, So when you guys say
you can check, demonstrate, and verify, right? You can actually control certain variables, and you can kind of confirm that that's the case to a certain within a certain parameter. But when you said that you can debate for the other side, that's actually not a debate, because the other side cannot demonstrate their side. A debate will be like my opinion about gun rights, or I don't know, you like green and I like red. We can debate about which one is is better. We could debate about that, but debating about, there's no debate between fantasy and reality, though.
Yeah.
The law, like Newton's law of gravity, that's not a debate. That's like a natural law. You see things falling at a rate.
Yeah.
The main problem is that when he says,
mistaken. Carry on.
Go ahead. No, you got it. Go ahead.
Okay. The reason I was mistaken is because in school I always learned that like Isaac Newton discovered gravity. When I think of gravity, I think of him.
He didn't discover it, though. He didn't find it in the natural world.
I understand that now. But what I've always been taught was that he, came up with the theory. I never knew Einstein actually discovered it properly.
Einstein didn't discover anything either. That's not a discovery. A discovery will be me discovering something, right?
You know what I'm trying to say.
They made stories about their ideas in their minds and put it on paper and call it what they called it.
Yeah.
It's not a discovery. That's not something you discovered.
I've been wondering, like, so are you saying like they're lying? And why would they lie? That's one thing I've been wondering myself.
Okay, let's use Newton as an example. He thinks, because of the current learning at the time, because he's part of that establishment, that the Earth is a sphere, making astrological observations and so on. He's working on this theory, and he's trying to make up a mechanism and answer these questions as to what makes the world go round. Not only why things fall to the floor, but in his case, after he saw the apple fall from the tree, he looked up at the sky and he was asking the question, well, why do things go round and round? He's working with inside the paradigm. That's what he's doing. He's not necessarily lying. He's just trying to make the world work from his point of view.
Okay, interesting. So when it comes to Einstein, the person who believed gravity was an actual thing, what was he thinking?
Probably the same thing. The Earth is a sphere. Now, I don't agree with Newton with his idea of the mechanics of what makes the world go round and up and down. I'm going to come up with another way to do it that I can explain with math. I'm going to say there's a four-dimensional space-time fabric, and because objects are really, really big, they bend and warp this space-time fabric, which causes things at speed that were going in straight paths to have curved paths. We call them orbits. Or if they're close to the object of mass, they will be described as vertical paths straight down towards the center. He's just coming up with a mathematical mechanism that explains the world in which he perceives to exist, the Earth being a sphere.
Okay. The one thing that leaves me wondering is that, like, when it comes to maths, like, you're either wrong or you're right when it comes to maths. It's not like there's a maybe. You know, it's either you're wrong or you're right. You either have the exact answer or you don't. It's like when
You
you
ever
put
worked
2
with
plus 2
quadratics
into a
before?
calculator, you know, it will come up with 4, right? You can't say 3 will be right because it's not, it's 4. So I'm wondering, like, when Einstein thought of these mathematical equations, and he said they were correct, what made it obvious they were wrong? I'm
You never
wondering.
played with quadratics before?
No.
It's not
You know,
wrong.
you know what
It's
quadratic is?
mathematics is. Sorry, Craig, go on.
Yeah, do you know what a quadratic is?
No.
Okay. Well, just take a look. Just maybe do a quick Google search and see how many quadratic equations or non-linear equations exist inside Einstein's formulas.
Can you spell it for me? Quad.
So quad, RATIC.
Yeah. Equations, right?
Yep.
And 10 coupled.
So how many
that-
answers can a single quadratic equation produce?
I'm not sure. Bear with me.
Yeah, almost an unlimited amount.
Okay.
It can fail. It can produce an error. It can err out. You could have one or two real solutions. Then you could have one or two imaginary solutions. And then you compound that when you start stacking quadratic equations inside each other.
Okay.
So when people
So-
start thinking like, well, Einstein came up with one universal answer, E equals like mc squared. I think that's what it is. Yeah, it's not even close. Okay. You know, people don't really like touch that stuff. So I mean, like your pipeline. I mean, though it sounds, you know, that you think that it sounds, you know, humble. Like, hey, this guy did a lot of math, and math comes up with a unified answer.
Yeah.
Though sometimes math, especially math at that level, it comes up with more questions. They've got math equations where they don't know what the answer is. They're trying to, still to this day, trying to find like these complex math equations that will come up with a new equation. So isn't that sort of like very easy where you just whip open the calculator and start punching in some numbers and it tells you the theory of gravity?
That's interesting. Okay.
You might find interesting too is when you have fractions. You know, where do you draw that line when the fraction goes on infinitely?
Oh yeah, it's like remainders, right?
Yeah.
They go on forever. Do you think we lack the reality of seeing the real truth in certain equations?
No, I'm saying like if you're doing an equation that has multiple, infinite fraction, like a non-rational number, and you've compounded that, you round up like 0.33333 to like 0.3334.
Yeah.
How many times would you do that before you get a completely different answer than someone else?
That's insane. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's a good point, man. So when it comes to like the laws of like everything, do you think we're unable to fully determine the laws of these mathematical equations? Do you think we lack the awareness, the conscience to really determine the truth?
With regards to
Yeah, I think you're barking up the wrong tree there, because a natural law or scientific law, an expression of reality, is not going to be as clean as cut as a fraction or an equation.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. So do you think we as humans lack the knowledge to really determine the truth when it comes to these certain equations, these certain numbers?
Well, let's use Newton. Newton said the model, the heliocentric model, was so mathematically perfect that it could have only been made by a supernatural being. Because nothing in nature is that perfect. There's always imperfections in nature. But this heliocentric model is so mathematically perfect and completely consistent all the way through that his hypothesis was God of the Bible made the universe.
Okay.
And that's where people start thinking, is this science or is this theology? And then when you look into what other things that Newton wrote about, it was theology the whole time. That was like this little law of gravity. That was a side hustle he did for a couple years. But his main shtick was two things. He believed in the Catholic Church, and he also believed in alchemy. Was his other shtick. He thought that he was going to turn mercury into or lead into gold using mercury to something with the digestive system. They actually exhumed his body and they saw that he had high levels of mercury poisoning.
Damn.
Have you ever heard of Gödel's incompleteness theorem? 0116 AOG.
Hey, what's up?
Have you ever heard of Gödel's incompleteness theorem?
No.
Okay, Kurt Gödel, he was a mathematician and logician, proved logically that there is no mathematical system which is both complete and consistent. It can be one or the other, but it can't be both. That means that there's things that are true in the mathematical system which can't be proven. No proof exists, but they are true, but they actually just can't be proven.
How can it be true if it's unproven?
Well, that's an inconsistency, isn't it? So something could be true, just your knowledge does not require it to be true or not. It just can't be proven true.
Oh, that's the point you're trying to make.
Yes, it just can't be
Okay.
proven true.
Okay.
And self-consistent would mean that it doesn't contain any paradoxes. There's a paradox in any mathematical system. The way that Gödel proved this is that he assigned a number to a bunch of mathematical symbols and objects, and then put them like on playing cards. That's the best analogy. And then he used those playing cards to prove that something is true and not true at the same time. just using logic. It's a little more complicated than that. I'm oversimplifying it. The point is that math in and of itself, subsections of mathematics, some mathematical systems, because all mathematical systems have some axiom, right? And by axiom, I mean within that system, it's true, right? So we can make a mathematical system where the number 3 doesn't exist, right? And that system would have certain consequences, and we can make statements within that system, which would be true statements within it, but within some other mathematical system, say binary, they wouldn't be true. So Crit, the reason I'm bringing this up is because Crit talked about irrational numbers. So you have like divide 10 by 3, right? And what is it? 3.33333333333, right? Forever.
Yeah.
But 1/3 is that same thing. But that actually has a solution, right? 1/3, which is the same
Well,
thing as
it's the same thing,
which is the same thing as 10 divided by 3 is 1/3.
Yeah.
So expressed in decimal, there's no solution, but expressed in the rational numbers, there is a solution, and we can come up with all these different base. I don't know if you know what a number base is. So decimal is a base 10 number system.
Yep.
Things like degrees is a base 60 number system, and things that are expressible in each of these number systems might not be expressible in another one. So
Yep.
that's the thing, is like the point is that like mathematics is not some universal fucking truth that determines reality. There's particular parts of mathematics which can be extended to a reality and in a way emulates it, but that's only for some cherry-picked subsection, and you have to ignore all the things that are wrong, which is possibly an infinite number.
That's insane, bro.
Yeah, mathematics is just a tool.
Like
it's
that-
just a tool of that we
that is
that we assign symbols and objects to relationships, but we don't even need the symbols, right? We could write it all out in words, and it would mean the same thing.
No, but when you said like 1/3 is the same as 3 over, what did you say? 3 over
3 divided by 10, or 10
Yeah.
divided by 3.
That's insane. Because it is the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So our brains like simplify 1/3 as being like a level playing field, right? You know, 1/3 goes into 3, 1 goes into 3 times. But like 33, it recurs forever.
Yeah,
it's like-
well, I mean, this is where you get into frickin' pure mathematics, and there's, you know, there was people that think things like irrational numbers like 0.3333 forever isn't actually a number, and they're not actually real. They're just bullshit. And that argument, that debate that happened, 400 years ago, they just, nobody knows about it. Actually was kind of numbers used to be controversial. Imaginary numbers used to be controversial. A lot of the concepts we accept as truths in mathematics at the time that they were first thought of were controversial, and that the mathematicians fought about whether these things are actually real. I'm sure you've heard things like pi is a number. If I say,
Yeah,
hey, what number?
3.14, whatever it
Yeah,
is.
pi isn't a number, though.
No.
It's the ratio of the circumference to the diameter, but it's not actually a number. It can't be expressed in any number.
Yeah, because it just keeps going on, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it's not actually a number. Numbers have an actual set value. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you think it's a case of like, when I'm thinking about these things, the thing that keeps coming back to me is like, do you think us as humans just lack the knowledge or whatever it is to
I don't
perceive
know.
these numbers? Do you think we just lack
If we're going
something?
down the wrong path, yeah.
No, no, it's not. I don't think that they're unseen. I think that we have expectations of mathematics which are unrealistic. We try to
Okay.
attribute properties to it that don't actually exist. And then we
Like
go,
some-
oh, it doesn't have the properties I imagine it should, so it must be my lack
So-
of comprehension. It's not our
Do you
lack of
think that-
comprehension.
Do you think we're
This
too
is a good
logical?
example.
Do you think we're
Hold
too
on.
logical?
Well, let me give an example, right? If we look at gravitational paradigm, Einstein used mathematics. Now, these mathematics make predictions, right? Now, when the predictions go wrong, sometimes they start telling us that they've made a discovery because the predictions don't match the reality that's observed. So then we end up with things like dark matter. That's how things get discovered through mathematics. Dark matter doesn't exist, neither does space-time. But if people are running around in these false errands, then yeah, we haven't got a chance of solving the problems and the questions of life. You understand how mathematics can really fuck things up. If you go down these paths that start on a false premise and the mathematics makes predictions, all of a sudden you're making discoveries, apparently, like dark matter and dark energy, because according to the mathematics of the universe, there's not enough mass in the universe to, let's say, hold a solar system together. So there must be something else, right? So yeah, math just fucking makes shit up if you let it.
So do you think it's more simple than what we think, or what the general population thinks?
I think we're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. We just have unrealistic expectations of what mathematics can do and what it can't do. What it can say about that, what we can, like, so it's a tool, and we use it to describe features of the world because those features of the world have relationships, and we'll quantify those certain parts about the natural world, and then notice relationships between the quantities. But that quantification and extension into some mathematical formulas, none of that is real. We're just reifying that. That's how nature itself is actually working. Nature doesn't do calculations. There's no fucking hidden fucking person calculating out, like, the fucking momentum and the vector that a proton is traveling.
Indy, you had to drop the mic after you said nature doesn't do calculations. You have to drop the mic right there, though.
Yeah, I know. I should have just shut up at that point. Yeah, nature just don't.
I'm just,
do that.
me personally, like when it comes to myself, I'm always trying to look for an answer in things. So do you think there is no answer?
No, no. There's an
Because
answer.
what it sounds like,
it is what it is the answer.
what it sounds like is like humans as a species, we're trying to answer these questions by using maths, and it seems like from what I've heard, sometimes there isn't an answer that we can physically work out.
Not within math.
So are you saying there's another factor, another way of calculating things, or do you just think it's just the way everything is? It's all just
not all things are proven the same way.
And it goes back to my point I said earlier. Do you think humans lack something which can really find the truth in these questions?
No.
But if we can't answer
It's not a lack of our ability. I said not all things are proven the same way. Not all things can be proven. Can I prove mathematically what your favorite color is?
Well, no, not unless you ask me.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with mathematics, right?
No, okay.
Yeah, but I can prove what your favorite color is by asking you and you giving me an answer. So not all things are proven the same way, is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
We can prove things are true, but we don't have to use mathematics to do it.
Yeah, true, yeah.
So when you say, hey, man, well, we like mathematics can't describe all things, so like maybe there's a big hole in our knowledge. Not because of mathematics not describing everything. There's holes in our knowledge for lots of reasons, but it isn't because of the mathematics or lack of mathematics. That's just why even in science they have quantitative and what's called quantitative and qualitative descriptions, because sometimes the quantitative is useless and like the qualitative, as in like the properties that we can describe the thing has, right? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it tall? Is it short? Is it brown? Is it blue? Is it like, these subjective things, these qualities that it has just descriptively. Like I go, hey, dude, what's the shape of the moon? Objectively, qualitatively, it looks like a circle. That's what it looks like. Doesn't mean it is a circle. Qualitatively, that's what it looks like.
Sometimes looks like a circle. Some other times
Yeah,
looks
sometimes
different.
semicircle, half a circle.
Depends on the way the sunlight is reflecting off it.
Assuming the sunlight is reflecting off of it.
That leads us on to something else. What do you think about the moon?
Because
guys?
there's no qualitative now, according to you, well, not you specifically, but there's no qualitative description of the sunlight reflecting off the moon. Or quantitative. There is a qualitative one though. People say, "Hey, man, look, man, this fucking sun's reflecting off the moon." But that's what they think is happening. They don't actually see that.
Have you guys like seen the videos where like they can see the reflection of the Earth on the moon?
Like Earthshine.
Yeah, like I've seen videos online where like
How would they know what
people
Earth
have-
looks like?
they've seen the like the land masses of the Earth reflecting.
How
off
would
of
they
the
know what
moon's
Earth
surface.
looks like?
I don't know. I don't
Earth
know.
shine on the moon. Earth, like literally
Yeah.
the Earth's reflection reflecting off the moon.
Moon map.
Yeah, I
Moon
mean,
map
I've seen
is
videos.
thinking.
What do
The
you guys
moon
think
map?
about
I don't do the moon map, bro.
that? Okay.
It's on other people.
No, I'm just
moon map.
wondering. I'm here. I'm all to learn. You know, I'm not.
Well, you're not going to learn moon
Isn't
map.
that just in a
moon
small?
map in here.
I just want to know.
Isn't
what
the
you guys...
moon map in a crater or something?
No, it's like I don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen videos of like the shadows on the moon. They're actually the Earth's reflection.
Yeah, well, we're aware. I don't think you're going to find anybody in here that believes that is the case.
Okay.
You know what pareidolia is, right?
No.
It's like when you see like faces and things inside of things that have nothing to do with it, like
Oh yeah, right.
Jesus,
Jesus in your
toast.
tea leaves.
In your tea leaves. I prefer the toast. They were selling Jesus toast on frickin' eBay. I remember like
Jesus
20
toast.
years ago.
That's brilliant.
No,
There's
yeah, I mean,
Jesus and a piece of toast, dude. It was actually pretty.
I
don't know if they
just
did
like
that on
it.
purpose, like a burner, dude, but some of them was pretty good art. Look, I mean, why complicate things, right? I mean, this is like the globe Earth idea of, or the modern ideas to. Actually, let me go back a little bit. This idea of describing everything that exists with mathematics, it's called idealism, or the ideal system, right? Where you think that there's some Platonic forms, and that's where the real world is, and these abstract ideas that don't actually exist in the physical world.
Oh yeah, it's like the human brain. You know, it always goes back to like the most obvious answer. You know, like you said about us seeing human faces and things. It goes back to basic human brain chemistry. You know, we always try and simplify things. That's how the human brain works. We always try and look for an obvious answer sometimes, and maybe it's not always the
I'm
case.
talking about something different than that. I'm talking about Plato came up with this thing that the world of ideas in forms, and that say what's, for instance, a chair, that we have individual chairs which we experience in the natural world. Lazy boy, high chair, stool, they're all chairs, but they're not actually the pure chair, right? The ideal chair is an idea in the minds of human beings, and that's where chairs really exist, right? And this is where the idea that people have about mathematics, they think that the abstract world of mathematics is the world that actually exists. And this is the shadow world, a shadow of that. This is where the allegory of the cave comes from, and that there's people, and they're chained to the wall, and all they can see is shadows on the wall, and they don't realize there's people walking behind them, right? Right. So this is this world of ideas. This is a thing that's been going on for 2,000 years. The world of ideas versus, would be called the internal world, right? The mind, versus the external world, and whether that actually exists or not, right? So or at least me, I'm not buying all that bullshit that we're a bunch of brains in a jar and we can't prove the existence of an external world, and that the external world has to conform to some mathematical ideals. I don't buy that. I think we take ideals in our mind and try to shoehorn them into things we observe in the world and try to create some good enough match just so we can hold some sort of mental model of things to operate as human beings. But I don't think the idea comes first and the external world comes second. I think there's an external world and we try to frickin', shove our imagination into it and try to get the external world that can form our imagination. Because I think fundamentally, at some level, human beings are delusional. And they try to make the external world conform to their own mind. And that's what I think mathematics is. Because we hear this. So I'll give you an example. We hear in this topic that if we go to the ocean and the ocean looks flat, it's not actually flat. That it's actually only looks flat because it's a giant ball too big to see the entirety of it. And that's why it looks flat. But I'll ask them, I'm like, well, how do you know that's the reason it looks flat and it doesn't look flat just because it is flat? And I never get an answer for that because there is no answer. They don't know that it looks flat because it's a giant ball. They just want to believe that because in their mind, they have an idea about the Earth being a giant ball. Nothing on the external world, just in their mind. So they have to make the external world that they see conform to their internal world, which they don't see.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're constantly told that, like, how dare you trust your senses? What's wrong with you? Your eyes can trick you. Don't trust your senses. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be able to survive without trusting my senses. And believe me, if I just ran around just trusting my thoughts, I'm fucking in for it. Because my senses are far more reliable than my thoughts.
True. Yeah.
When your senses fail you, what do you do?
Well,
what do you do if you like you saw something that wasn't there?
You panic.
You'd go to the doctor, right?
Yeah, I mean, if
there's something wrong with me, my senses aren't working.
Around and I lost balance, you'd panic. You'd go to the doctors, whatever,
Yeah, you'd go to if your senses were misinforming you, you'd end up going to the doctor.
Yeah.
When our brains misinform us, which happens 100 times a day, we don't go to the doctor. It's normal modus operandi. You don't remember something you thought happened, you saw something wrong, you mistook a color, these are things that happen in their mind, which is also very fallible. So the point being of all this is that we see the external world, we see a flat Earth, we do not feel motion to the Earth. And the most obvious Occam's razor simple answer is that's because the way the world really is. As opposed to, you're just too small, or it's spinning too slow, or whatever, and imagining it's doing something that you're not experiencing, but it's doing it in such a way that's undetectable to your senses. He's checking to make sure you're paying attention, get good, because if you're ignoring what he's saying, why is he talking to you? Why are you talking to us if you're going to ignore the answers? It makes no sense.
I think you guys are ignoring what I'm trying to say.
Oh, we've heard this argument thousands of times.
So,
thousands. This is new for you, not for us.
Okay.
So you guys don't understand what he's trying to tell you is it's a known problem in academia. It's called the map terrain problem. And Gemsy's pointing it out to you that the map is not the terrain. See, the map is a representation of the terrain, but it can only be so accurate.
Well, yes.
Because to make it 100% accurate, it would have to be, so say you wanted a map of America, to make a 100% accurate map of America, it would need to be the size of America.
Well, yes, it's not real life. Yes, I understand.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this is what we're trying to tell you. So when you shrink a map down, you lose information, right?
Yes, of course.
So what information got lost on the map that you posted?
Well, the sizes are all wrong.
How do you know that?
Well, because I know Russia's square kilometer. You call it space? Yes, it's space. And I think
you don't know that.
Bigger in real life.
You think? You don't know anything about what the size of Russia is, what the size of any of those things are. You've been told something. You either believe it or don't believe it, but you don't know them to be true.
So
I don't know if they're true or not. I don't know if Russia's the biggest country on Earth. They say it is. How would I know?
well, maybe they measured it.
Maybe. Maybe they didn't.
Well, I think they did. I think they measured their country.
Well, it's your prerogative to think and imagine anything you want about what other people did or did not do. You can imagine away. People don't
So
navigate long
according,
distances
so yeah,
with
according
maps
to
to
you
get good.
guys, according to you, like ships can't go from United States to China
Says who?
west
Says who?
because I mean it says that you are saying that it means
That's
that
your map.
the back
That's
map.
your
Yes,
map. Yours. Get good. That's your map. That's not our map.
well, yes, you're saying
So
that
how are
it's
we
the back
saying
map.
it with your map?
Also, you're saying that every
No, you're
single
saying it, get good.
information
You're
on that
saying
map
it.
is
Stop trying to
wrong.
impose your bullshit on us. You're saying it.
Well, you're saying that
That's not our
every
map.
single. Well, yes, so you're saying every single thing on this map is wrong.
No, I'm not.
Well, what are you saying then?
So, look, dude, that's an all or nothing fallacy.
All or
Either
nothing.
all the map is right or none of the map is right. That's a fallacy. Half the
Oh,
map could be right and half the map could be wrong. I don't know, but that's not our map. That's your map.
so you're saying that Canada is
Stop
not
saying so you're
no.
saying. That means you're going to straw man me. Cut that out.
So, according to you, Canada is
No,
not
you just did it
the
again.
United
That's not according to me, dude.
So do you think Canada is in real life south of the United States, or is it north of it?
Is Canada's north of the United States?
Cool. So that's an information that's on the map that is correct. That's
Yes.
cool. Yes. So do you think like in
Got a picture
relation
of you
to
with it,
one
your head
another?
up your ass, so it'd also still be correct.
No, you're being disrespectful. Don't be
Yeah,
disrespectful.
because you're being disrespectful by trolling.
I'm not trolling. I'm talking for real. But
Depends
Yeah,
which
that's
north
even
he's talking
sadder.
about too.
That's even sadder. If this is you for real, that's sad.
no, that's actually like it's okay.
Look,
I'm fine with
nobody
my.
endorses the map you posted. This is your map. Okay? So stop saying we think something about your map. You think things about your map. No one endorses that map. East and
So
west are circles around a pole. You can easily travel east and west and end up back in the same place. It's called circumnavigation, which means navigating in a circle. Can't even believe I'm doing this for like the 5th time today. That you guys are so boneheaded, you think that you can't have circles on something that's flat. Can you
So
have
you
circles on a flat piece of paper?
well yes.
Okay, and then I can mark on that east is counterclockwise and west is clockwise.
East
Right?
is counterclockwise and west. Well, no, because if you're saying east, like you're going on a linear line, east indefinitely, and if you're going west, then you're going in linearly. And
He
like,
Is a
doesn't know what a
circle
is.
a
He
line,
doesn't know
brother?
what a circle is.
Hold on.
He doesn't know what
Is
a
a
circle
circle a line?
no, it's a
The
circle.
circle's not a line.
Can you draw for me what you mean on a map? Like, do
A
you have
circle
MS
is a
Paint?
line, dude.
Do you have MS Paint?
Yeah, a circle is a line.
No, a circle is a circle. A line is a line.
Yeah, it's composed of a line. It's a one-dimensional figure where the line is equal distance from a point.
Well, yes, but it's not a line. It means
It is a line.
no, straight. It's not a straight
Okay,
line.
so give me the other dimension.
What?
He's thinking lines
Give me the
are only
second dimension
horizontal
of a
lines.
circle then.
Huh?
The second dimension of a circle. You said it's not. A line is one dimension. A square is 2 dimensions. Okay? A
What?
circle is 1 dimension. A property of a circle is this. Equal distance from a point. That
Well,
is a one-dimensional line.
do you think I don't know what a circle is?
Yes, I do.
I know what a circle is.
Okay, so we can have a circle on a piece of paper, right?
Yeah.
Okay, a flat piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can go if you mark counterclockwise east and clockwise west, you can go east and west and end up back at the same place on
That's
something that's
where.
flat. Hey, why
No,
did
that's
you
where
interrupt me?
you're
Why did
wrong.
you interrupt me right at the end?
Yeah, because you're wrong.
Tell me what I just said.
The thing that where you're wrong is that if you're going east, you said that it's clockwise. That's not true because you're eventually gonna go north or like south.
Why? I'm
Because
keeping
circle.
equal distance from a point.
Yes, but you're gonna change directions if you like
The point
move
is north.
clockwise or counterclockwise.
No, the point is north, dude.
What?
The point is north. The
Well, it
North
doesn't
Pole
matter
is a
where.
point, right?
Well, this is the only northern point, but there are many other circles on that map.
So I can travel along the circle and I'm never going towards that point, right?
If you're like maybe like I really need MS Paint to like visually show you like what I'm trying to
There's
say.
nothing to visually show me, okay? This is very simple first grade level shit. A circle is equal distance from the point. If you mark the point as north and you go around the circle, you're never going towards that point because you're staying in equal distance. Equal distance. Do you know what that means? The
Yes, if you're
distance
going
doesn't
through
change.
yes, yeah, if you're going around, like if you're going,
That's right. East and
yeah,
west is going around. And now you get it.
yeah,
East.
around.
Yeah, that's what east and west are.
Oh no, you're okay. I really need fucking MS Paint, dude.
Let me ask you, are east and west on a globe a circle?
Just 1 second.
Is east and west on a globe a circle?
Just 1 second, please.
I'm running out of patience with you. Is east and west a globe on a circle?
Wait, I can't stream into this channel. Can I
Yeah,
stream?
you're goddamn right. Answer the fucking question.
I need to stream because I need to show
No,
you.
you don't. You're not gonna stream. You're not gonna fucking post images. You're not gonna do any of that shit. You're just gonna answer whether east and west on a globe is a circle.
No, east and west are like points, like directions, cardinal directions.
Are they a circle though? Do they go in a circle?
No, they're not a circle.
So how on a globe do you end up back at the same point?
Well, that's really weird. How do you do that?
Because it's a fucking circle?
Wait, well, yes, it's a circle.
It's like pulling
Exactly.
fucking teeth.
So,
He doesn't.
so the Earth is
Like
round.
if you ask,
Thank you.
remember what you said?
No,
So the Earth is
because
round.
you can have a circle on a flat surface, which you already admitted.
You said you can keep going west and end up at the same point.
That's right. You go in a circle and end up back at the same spot.
Yes.
Yeah, on a flat piece of paper.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. Welcome to Flat Earth.
No, you're saying like what you're saying means that the Earth is a globe.
So circles only exist on a globe.
Can I please stream?
So
dude?
circles only. I can't give you permission to stream in here. Circles
Can
don't
you
only exist
stream
on a
and
globe. You can draw a circle on any surface.
Can
You're
you
being
stream
intentionally
and I
idiotic.
show you what I need to draw? Like, can you
Indio,
No.
remember you gave me the definition for a circle? I bet you ask him again what a circle. He still doesn't get the circle part. He
Get
doesn't
good.
know what it is yet.
Look in the chat. Look in the side chat. Platter, thank you for helping
yes,
me out.
yes. In the chat, yes.
Is that a sphere? Is that a globe?
It's a circle. It's like a disc.
Yeah, is that a globe though?
No, it's not.
Yeah, but he's going in a circle and ending up back at the same spot. How's that possible?
Yes, but notice how he's going north.
He's not going north. The
he's-
compass is pointing north. You see, that's a compass. There's a magnet in the middle, and it's pointing north. He's not going north.
He is changing directions as he's moving.
That's right, in a circle, east and west.
Well, yes, that's the Earth from top.
But that's flat. Thank you. That is the Earth from up top. Thank you.
Well,
Not
it
a globe.
can still go. Yes, it can still go like below, like.
Yeah, below. There is no below, brother.
Like
Look,
you can still do this on a globe.
you're fantastic, but you can do it on a flat Earth too. So what?
Well, that doesn't prove anything.
It was your argument. So your argument doesn't prove anything. Thank you.
Well, that was
Well
not my
done.
argument.
Well played.
Well
Yeah,
done.
well-
Thank you for wasting our time with your argument that didn't prove anything. What would prove the Earth is flat? Get good. Get good. What would prove the Earth is flat to you?
Oh yeah, now I see it. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. This obviously doesn't prove a flat Earth. Maps would never prove a flat Earth or a globe Earth. It's not possible, just as a matter of basic logic. What would prove a flat Earth or a globe Earth to you? What type of
Well,
evidence?
maybe if you can go like really high and see how flat it is.
Well, you can see how flat it is from here. Why would you want to get farther away?
Because it's so big.
How do you know that?
Well, it is big. I can also see that.
Yeah, I know the Earth is big, but how do you know you don't see how it really is unless you get a different viewpoint? How do you know it looks flat because it's so big and it don't look flat because it just is flat? Because that's a possibility, right? It just looks flat because it is flat?
Yes, but on your map, like you can't do the opposite.
That's your map.
No, the map you posted me in, like the
Oh, the
circle.
one Platter posted?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about that?
Well, you can do it like in east-west, but you can't do it north-south.
Well, good, because no one's ever actually done that.
No one ever went south, like
Never
from
been a north-south circumnavigation. No, there has not.
that never happened. Like nobody ever
Nope.
went from like the
No, well, they claim they
from
did it, but they don't
Africa.
actually go over the poles. They go like around them.
No one went from southern Africa to Greenland before by going south.
No, what you need to do is go from the South Pole to the North Pole.
Well, yes. So in order to go to
No one's ever done that.
no one's ever went from South Africa to Greenland by going south.
It's only up one side of the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, by going south? No, of course not.
No, they. Oh, okay. I see. No one ever done that.
No. There's claims to north-south circumnavigations, but then when you look at the route that they traveled, they didn't actually do a north-south circumnavigation. They went in like a north-south circle, like an oval around, but they didn't like go over. They never really crossed into, allegedly Antarctica and come out the other side. What they'll do is they'll dip down, right, close to the coast, and then come back up. So they'll go down, like, say, the east side of the Atlantic Ocean, and then they'll come back up the west side of the Atlantic Ocean. Now, if the Atlantic Ocean was, 12,000 miles wide, that might fucking serve as a circumnavigation, but it's not that wide. It's only freaking 6,000 miles wide. So they're going up like a quarter of the slice.
No one actually ever did it. That's insane.
You might believe and maybe have a vague idea that someone has done it because you've seen too much programming like TV, movies, sci-fi, fictional stuff. That someone might have done that, like Superman flying and doing it in a movie, and that's the vague idea that you think it might be truth, but no.
You're talking earlier about the bodies on Everest. I'm getting kind of upset that there's bodies up there, dude. That's not right. I mean, if they can claim that they went to the moon and to Mars, why can't they get fucking bodies off of Everest? That's bullshit. Really great engineering. Not great engineering enough to get freaking corpses off of Everest, apparently. Just leave them up there. Well, just think about it if you think about it for a second. Like, they say they can do all this stuff, that they're smashing atoms together, discovering the secrets of the fucking universe. Looking back in time, 90 billion light years. Oh, there's some bodies on top of Everest. Oh, it's too hard to get those.
Is it too hard? It's not worth the risk. Like, there's no benefit to getting the bodies off.
What risk? Why not just wear spacesuits and fly the Mars helicopter?
No, for the bodies on Everest.
Yeah, wear spacesuits and fly the Mars helicopter.
I think a coat would work better.
Well, they need air. That's why you get the spacesuit.
Oxygen mask. You don't need a spacesuit for it.
Well, we want maximum safety, so we're going with spacesuit. And then they say helicopters won't fly, but they flew a helicopter on Mars.
Look, I won't stop you from wearing a spacesuit on Mount Everest. By all means.
How about the Mars helicopter?
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, they landed a helicopter on Mars, but there's no air on Mars, so we're wondering how they did that.
There is air on Mars.
The air on Mars is equivalent to being at something like 180,000 feet or something.
So you're saying that this never happened?
What? If people went to Mars? No, no one's ever been to Mars.
No, I posted a picture on the side.
No, that never happened, dude. Is that like some flight route or something? They don't fly over Antarctica. They're not allowed to because there was a crash in the 1970s where they smashed into a mountain and it took 20 hours to rescue the fucking people. Well, they didn't really rescue them. Recover their bodies is more like it. And they prohibited any flights going anywhere near Antarctica. The flight that crashed into something called Mount Erebus, which is on the coast. So they weren't even really in Antarctica that far. But, they don't let anybody fly over there anymore. So this graphic is bullshit. Nobody flies over Antarctica.
What if I could prove you wrong?
Yeah, what if? You're going to search and you're going to find maybe QF47 and it'll show you a little graphic of it going into Antarctica, but it doesn't actually do that. See, that's the funny thing is there's stories and then there's data. And the stories never match the data. That's what you guys don't seem to comprehend. You can't possibly believe that the data doesn't support the narrative. But they don't have to worry about it because you guys never check. Y'all are on auto-believe.
This story versus data.
Yeah,
Would you
story
agree that video is data? Not story?
Data of something.
Or, I guess, and...
Data with an airplane would be telemetry data.
I'm saying video.
Telemetry data as in the direction, the flight
Video,
route that the plane is.
dude.
Yeah, video is only so good.
Okay, but is it
How does video get into
data,
court?
or is video story?
Well, it could
which
be.
you're
It depends.
discrediting?
It depends.
On?
There isn't like all video is all video data.
I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, it depends.
You could have shitty video, or you could have like a 24-hour time lapse.
All you have to do is miscaption
of a
it.
SpaceX satellite going over the southern hemisphere, and that would be data because you can tell, hey, what's the weather in Greenland? Well, I can see Greenland from video. It says it's during this time, this date.
Dude, stop it.
And then I can go cross compare.
Stop, dude. You're making shit up. SpaceX satellites fly at 225 miles. The field of view at 250 miles is 3% of the surface of the Earth. You think Greenland is 3% of the surface of the Earth? You wouldn't be able to get Greenland even if you had a
Address
whole
what I said
360 degree view.
some.
No, like
You're talking
there
off a
has to be
script.
what you can see from
Address
the
what I said.
altitude, right? What you can see from the altitude has to match the geometry of the globe, right? You just don't get to like, oh, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's video, but you have to be able to evaluate the video for authenticity. It has to match what's actually on the ground. Because if you show a video of a pink house on the fucking, how do you?
Would you agree
can,
that?
What do you mean? You can see that it's real. What does that mean?
If you just give me that point that it is real, not fake news,
I have no way to know.
Would you agree that
real.
it's data?
It doesn't mean it's data, but that doesn't mean what it said it is.
Okay,
it is what it actually is. So check this out. Now, if I show an explosion and it says child's being blown up at a daycare, but I could also label that explosion mining blast looking for gold. And I could also label that, now it's a real photograph now. It's 100% real photograph taken of the real world. But how I caption it and how I present it changes whether it actually is the thing I'm representing it to be. And all I did was change words. I didn't alter the photograph. I didn't do anything like that. This is how most fake photography, well, quote unquote fake, it's real photography. It's just miscaptioned.
Can you give me an example of what you're talking about? So I think I'm with you, but
okay, the USS Maine. It was called Yellow Journalism. That happened back in the time of Hearst. Hearst would show, he'd show basically thugs that were hired by union busters, beating up union strikers, people on strike for the union. He'd miscapture them and saying the union busters were getting beat up, and it was the union protesters that were doing the beating when it was actually the other way around. You had no way of telling from the photograph. All you saw in the photograph was violence. You didn't know who was who. They would just miscaption it. So you can take a picture claiming purporting to be, you could take a real photograph purporting to be of the Earth, and it's just a painting. Right? You ever seen hyper-realistic painting?
You'd agree that a painting that depicts reality is more valuable than one that depicts, falsehoods. Yeah. Regardless of if it's a painting, a CGI, or real life image.
There's no way to tell. That's the point. You have no reference.
I think there is.
Oh, how? You have no reference.
Well, for example, like I would, concede the fact that you can make up ChatGPT or Grok videos today at the consumer level. Who knows what the government has? But despite this fact, there's no feasible way to recreate 24-hour footage of not GoPro, but it's like 360, Insta 360, I think. They brought one of those up on the ISS, and they're floating weightless, and they're doing all this stuff. I would put forth the idea that this is data. This is up for being able to be disproven, but it
so because you don't know
and
how
this
they
just keeps stacking.
No, because you don't know how they can make it, because your ignorance about cinematography means it's real. I can show you shit from 1927. I can show you shit made in 1927 that you can't tell is completely fake. In the 20s.
I don't see why my ignorance has to do with you,
because you just said it's not possible. You can't. You have no reference. Do you understand what I mean by no reference? You have nothing in your memory from which to compare it to. You don't know what the Earth looks like from space because you've never seen it. So if somebody shows you any image of the Earth, you have no way of looking at it and going, yes, that looks like what the Earth I saw looks like. But if I showed you a picture of a horse and you saw a picture, that's not a fucking horse, that's a giraffe. You would have a reference because you saw a horse before. You have a reference in your mind, a memory of seeing a horse. You know what one looks like, that you can refer to in memory and compare what they're representing it to be to what your memory is. You don't have that with Earth. You've never seen the Earth from that point of view, so you don't have any reference from which to even to evaluate the image by. Do you understand? You've never seen people weightless. You've never seen people in space. You've never seen any of those things. The only thing you have to compare it to are other images that people also represented it to be real, that you also have no way to evaluate.
Dude,
It's all chain of bullshit that you have no
Okay.
way to tell the authenticity of. You have no.
I'm listening to what you're saying.
Actually, you can
But hear me out.
verify bullshit, but their nonsense is the thing that you cannot actually verify. The bullshit I can find in the physical and natural world, but what they claim, the globe Earth in the vacuum of space, curving Earth, that you cannot find it in nature, like bullshit.
I mean, that's a good
I
point.
think the thing that adds up for me is that as time progresses, more companies, more nations, more private individuals, they're funded by their YouTube channel. They're sending rockets up. They're getting video down. I have a reference point into what Earth looks like from abroad. I've been to a
You
beach.
don't.
I've been to a landscape, and I can deduce that this
Did the Earth look
footage
flat
is
at the
probably more
beach or
likely than
curved?
what?
Did the Earth look flat at the beach or curved?
I don't think you're listening to what I'm saying.
Yeah, I did. That was your reference. You went to the beach. You saw a flat Earth. That's your reference.
Okay, is the ocean blue and
Yeah.
is the sand gray or brown?
Well, it depends. Look,
We'd agree.
different oceans have
And if
different
I
colors depending on
if I took my
the
drone,
ocean is. Hold
bear
on,
with
you
me.
asked me a
I let you
question.
talk.
You
I let
asked
you
me a
talk.
question, and
And
so
you
you're gonna let
answered
me
already.
answer. No, I didn't. No, I
The
didn't
ocean
answer.
can be also
The
red and
oceans are
orange.
different colors depending on
Yes,
what part
I
of the
agree.
ocean you is and what time of year it is.
Why are you being pedantic?
I'm
My
not.
point is, okay, follow where I'm
It's
going.
not always blue.
You're
Sometimes
telling
it's
me I
green.
have no reference point. You're telling me I have no reference point when I see these videos, when I see these images of Earth abroad.
You don't know the Earth,
above.
dude.
Stop.
You don't
When I'm
know
telling
the
you,
Earth.
when I'm telling you right now, just build it from the ground level up. Let's assume
That's what we're
everybody's lying to
doing.
me.
You don't know the
But
Earth. You're trying to skip a step.
can you listen for 2 seconds?
No, you're trying to skip
Okay, I
a
didn't
step.
think so.
You're trying
would
to
be my
jump the
question to
shark
him.
and say, yes, I already know the Earth. You don't know that.
these guys are going to
Can
lose
you
their
listen? That
shit
will be
when
my
they
question
know
to
what
you.
gyro
Can you
compass is.
listen?
How did
Can
you
you repeat
evaluate?
anything
Okay,
Indio
tell me
said?
any video you've ever seen. What did you do? Tell me the process you went through to evaluate whether that was an authentic image of Earth from space.
So why I'm here is because I've seen 2 sunsets in the same night. And when you're telling me I can't have any clue what Earth actually looks like from
Okay,
abroad,
that would happen on a flat Earth too.
I'm
You're
telling.
just
Can
ignorant.
you let me finish? I let you.
Yeah,
talk.
but that's not
Shut the
evidence of
fuck up.
anything. That would happen on a flat
Let
Earth too. You're
me
wasting our time,
finish.
dude.
Let me finish.
Okay, go with the thing that doesn't prove anything because it works on a flat Earth just the same fucking way. Go ahead.
You're just like the other guy.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to hear something from 2017. Go ahead, genius.
When I was at this beach, I saw 2 sunsets. And because I took my drone up in the air, right now where I'm at, I'm limited to 400 feet in the air. But I can take my drone up and I can see the beach, the color of the water, and guess what? I can watch the sunset from my eye level and watch it set. I can take my drone up 20 feet, watch it set. I can take my drone up 400 feet, watch it set again.
Okay, that means what?
Despite this fact, my point is build from there. I can go watch a YouTube channel right now
that would happen on a flat Earth.
Viewers. Can you let me finish?
Yeah, but that would happen on a flat Earth. I want to know how you're building from there because that would happen on a flat Earth too.
Yeah, your drones.
What do you think the horizon is on a flat Earth? The edge? What do you think the horizon is that the sun sets behind on a flat Earth?
What do you think the horizon is where the sun sets?
Yeah, on a flat Earth.
You can't see it anymore.
Yeah, what is the horizon, brother, that the sun you think is setting behind that you said sets twice?
You already know
When-
what I think, and I think you're derailing. I
On
don't
a
think you're
flat
answering my
Earth, I
question.
said. On
You're
a
just
flat
interrupting
Earth.
me again and
On
again and
a
again.
flat. Listen closely. On a flat Earth. What do you think it is on a flat Earth that
Who
makes you
cares?
say?
Why don't you?
Because you're saying I saw this happen. This indicates to me it's a globe because I saw two sunsets.
No.
So it didn't tell you the Earth
You
was
are
a globe.
so far away from what this conversation is. When I'm talking about seeing these double sunsets, I'm telling you why I'm here, and what this argument is about. Is never mind. I think I'm a little
He
bit.
doesn't even know
Your
why he's
script fell
here.
apart, huh? Your
Well,
script fell apart. You think look, dude, you're
What
the
is
one
this
that's new to
argument
this,
about?
not
What
us,
was it
bro.
before this?
He
Somebody
couldn't
help me.
even tell you
Look,
his
brother,
own claim.
look,
Why
we
I'm
know-
here is because
Look, brother, we know what you read on the internet. You can see two sunsets. It would work the same on the flat Earth.
No,
It's ignorant people that say that
No,
shit that it would be
it was
different on a
about-
flat Earth because
it
they
was
think
about
the
how we
horizon on a
can't-
flat Earth is the edge of the Earth.
Okay, I'm sorry. The conversation was about how we can't imagine, or we have no reference frame for what the Earth looks like. And my point
From
is
space.
that from drones to airplanes to spacecraft, these track. I can tell you. I posted a link in the comments. And it
These
was like an
track.
exact date, an exact time, and a satellite orbiting Earth. I think it was the ISS. I'll post the link again. But my point is that you can see this go across the sky. You can see the weather down below, and you can cross-reference this, and you can track
That's a lie.
with your own telescope.
That is a
You can
lie.
predict this.
That
I've
is
done
a
it.
lie. I've been listening to you Globers say that for almost a decade, and never once have you actually ever produced
Almost
evidence
a decade.
confirming.
Holy
Shut
shit.
up, dude. Shut up, because I won't tolerate liars, dude. Not once in 10
Shut
years
up,
has any of,
Yoder.
not once in 10 years has any of you ever presented one iota of evidence of ground confirmation of what's been seen by a satellite. ChatGPT used to even say it and would give you references to papers that don't fucking exist. So this one particularly irritates me when people say this shit. Give
Well,
us
be
the
more
data of
specific.
the ground confirmation of what was seen by a satellite and simultaneously observed from the fucking ground. Show it now, please.
So you're like asking for like a live feed from a satellite.
What the
and
data that
and a
you've already
video- Hold
seen,
on, let me finish.
the
I'm
shit you've
asking
already
a
seen that
question.
you're referencing.
I already posted it in the side chat, but the problem is right now I'm banned from posting in the side chat. Why would I be banned?
I'm not in control of that. And you didn't
I
post
don't have
anything in a
permission to
side
send
chat
messages
about
in
a
this
ground
channel anymore.
confirmation from a
This is
satellite.
the cult that I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're in the
It's
cult,
to
dude.
interrupt and to ban and mute.
You're
I
in the
think that
cult.
You're being disingenuous.
You're in the cult. Okay? You're in the cult. You just made up 3 fucking lies, dude.
I'd be
And you're
happy to
calling
post
saying
a
we're in a
video
cult, but you just
in the
lied 3
chat if
times.
you'd unmute me.
But you lied 3 times. There's in the chat. So you're telling me right now, Whiskey, you're very specific. In the chat right now is an observation from the ground that confirms what was seen from a satellite. In the chat right now.
Yeah, I tried to clarify what
Confirmation
you're
on the
asking
ground
for.
of what was seen from a
and you're
satellite
interrupting.
is in the chat.
Case in point. Anybody
It's a
else
yes
want to
or
try
no
to talk to
question,
me
dude.
like an adult?
It is a yes or no question. Stop dodging. Is it in the chat or not?
What's your yes or no? No, I can't post in the chat. It is in the chat. It was the most recent message I posted, but I'm muted now.
Okay, that's fine. But what you posted in the chat is a ground confirmation of something that was seen at the satellite, simultaneously observed from the ground.
When you say ground confirmation, what are you talking about? Like
meaning
right now,
there was an image in a satellite,
oh my God.
and somebody,
you see how
whatever
you can't let me
feature.
talk?
Well, I'm answering your question. So whatever
I'm
feature they
asking a
observed,
question and you're interrupting.
whatever feature they observed, you're asking a question about what I'm asking for. I'm telling you, so you're not confused.
No, you're
An
being,
image
this is a
claiming
part
to
of the
be from
strategy.
an image, dude. I don't have a strategy, dude. You're
Then
the
listen
dumbest
to my
person in
question
this
in its
fucking.
fullest length instead of just grandstanding. Listen.
I'm not
When
grandstanding.
you're
I'm
asking,
telling you
when
what
you're
I want,
asking,
but you're
when
not.
you're
You don't want to
asking,
hear it because
oh
you
my
know
God,
it's not in the
because
chat,
you're over
and you
talking.
know you
You go,
lied.
princess.
No, you lied. You lied when you said there's a ground confirmation of something that's been seen from a satellite. You straight up fucking lied. And you know it.
Let me know when you're done.
I want satellite photograph confirmed by a ground observation of what the satellite saw was also seen from the ground from the other direction. Got it? Do you understand that? Is it in the chat? Yes or no? The answer is no. The answer is you've never seen that. That doesn't exist. And you fucking know it.
So what I posted in the side chat was, before I was muted, and I'm still muted, Earth at night on May 17th, 2025. Okay? I don't know what time it was. But are you asking me that you want me to give you a time? You know I have a heads up that SpaceX is going to be over Florida. They're going to be live streaming their launch, and they're going to be orbiting around Australia 6 hours after launch. And I go set up, you can use plain eyes, but let's get a pair of binoculars. And I tell you, hey, the SpaceX is going to, cross the surface of the sun. Maybe binoculars is a bad idea, but it's going to cross the surface of the sun or the moon or whatever at this time in Australia, based off of this launch, at 8 p.m. in Florida. Are you asking for me for both the live footage from the launch as it's going over Australia and live footage from Australia, watching, maybe through
I'll tell you
a
what
camera
I
attached
want.
to
I want the thing you said you already had. That.
Oh, okay. Here. I'd love to post it, but I'm muted. It's
DM it to me
from space.
Okay. So where's the ground confirmation of what they saw from space?
There you go.
Is also seen from the ground.
Okay, I think that's the barrier of proof that I have not.
That's what you.
hit
So you didn't. So no one did that.
Let me finish with this video. But the fact remains is that what I just described
is a story.
Is done, has been done, will be done. Because we're only getting better at this stuff.
We can't even get bodies off of Everest. Believe whatever you want.
But
this guy almost sounds. This guy, you almost sounds like one of those people that call every day, like the scammers that call you trying to convince you out of something.
What are you gonna sell us next? Really simply.
Do you have an argument, or are you just gonna complain?
Argument against what?
Like
your
flat
claim?
Earthers are wimping out, and now it's
your claim.
Me in the side chat.
Listen, let me ask you
the evidence I give.
Let me ask you
interrupt me any chance you get, because it's a part of your strategy.
I don't need a strategy for you. You're weak sauce, bro. You're weak sauce. I don't need a strategy. I don't have a script, bro. I got tens of thousands of hours of debating people. You're weak sauce. Okay. Really simple. Our claims evidence, yes or no? Our claims evidence. Our claims evidence.
No.
Okay. So the claim is whatever video you posted or are going to post was taken from space. What's the evidence that that's true? Oh, they said so. Is that the evidence? Because they said so?
I've seen launches in real life.
This video that you posted. Don't talk about some other shit. Focus. The video that you posted.
No, I thought we clarified earlier that the burden of evidence that you're really asking for.
You haven't presented any evidence.
Okay, already interrupted. Jesus Christ.
But you haven't presented any evidence.
Let me know.
You said claims are not evidence, right? So if claims are not evidence and you haven't presented evidence, then what? We're just supposed to go with your claim?
He wants to make more claims. He doesn't want to post the evidence.
See, this is what it's called claim stacking. And all you're doing is stacking claims on top of claims on top of claims. You're not presenting any evidence the claims are actually true. We have no way to evaluate them. Either we believe what they're represented to be, or we don't, which is completely subjective preference. I have no reason to believe their claims.
About 30 minutes ago, but we established that video is data. Do you remember that?
No, it's not data. Data is measurement, bro.
No, you already conceded the fact that it's data.
No, I didn't,
We
dude.
already
Good
got
try,
past this
debate,
point.
bro. Good
We
try,
already
debate,
got past
bro.
this point.
Good try, debate, bro. I did not
Okay.
concede that. We record this.
You didn't just concede it.
I never
walked
concede.
you into admitting that.
Don't you
And
mean
just
you
don't
listen,
remember
Dream?
because your IQ is below room temperature.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. We record this. You see that little YouTube bot up there? You see
Okay,
that little YouTube?
I would
This
love
is
to pull the
recorded.
clip. Give me access. Give me access so I can pull the clip
It's on
myself.
YouTube. Type in 24/7 Flat Earth Discord. You'll get the YouTube screen. I want me saying I concede that video is data.
And you'll do the same, right?
No, I want you playing me conceding
didn't
that
think
because
you
you
would.
said I did. Don't try to
doesn't say you
straw
guys are
man and
live
change
right
the
now.
subject and use red herrings. That shit ain't gonna
looking
work,
up the
debate bro.
YouTube right now.
Look, we
It
know
doesn't
your
say you're
debate bro
live.
tactics. We
Where's
know
it
the
at?
debate bro tactics. You try to
Where's
get
the
people to
YouTube?
agree to something and then reverse it in the middle of the conversation
He
and
thinks
try to
because
take
he
our
works
position.
against.
Specific.
We know
Be
the
specific.
tactics.
What did I reverse?
We know the
knows.
tactics.
Quit
He knows that
grandstanding. Just
because
be
this
specific.
works
No one's
against
grandstanding.
children.
We know.
Yeah, because
know
you
the
won't be
tactics.
specific. What exactly did I reverse? Be articulate for once.
This is
Quit just
children tactics.
crying.
This
I just wanna
tactic
know.
that you use against children doesn't work here, though.
Yeah, really don't. So it's really simple. You've made a bunch of claims. We want the evidence the claims are true. I pointed out you can't even evaluate whether they're true. It's not even possible. It's not possible for me. It's not possible for you. It has to be taken on faith. I have no reason, any reason to take what they say those videos are as true. Why do you take them as true? That's why I asked you is how you evaluated them. I'm being completely fair to you.
What facts
How
are
did
you
you
taking as
evaluate them?
faith?
How did you evaluate the videos to their authenticity? They are what they are. Say they are the Earth from space. How do you know how do you know that's what the Earth looks like? Maybe the Earth's purple. How do you know the Earth ain't purple? And they recolored it. How did you evaluate that whatever image they're
How many
presenting to you?
questions are you going to ask?
Well, I want you to get the
I'm
idea.
still stuck. I'm
I
still
want-
stuck on
Can you repeat to
you
me what
kind
I
of giving
said to
off
you?
this idea.
Repeat to me one of the questions I asked you.
Yeah.
Repeat to me.
You were asking how can the what I wanted to ask you was why are you asking?
Yeah, what?
Bear
Hey,
with
you
me.
haven't been listening, have you? That's probably why I'm having a hard time. Because you're not actually listening to the answers.
No, you're just asking a bunch of questions and
I
spazzing
asked
out,
it.
and then asking me to
No one's
recall on
spazzing
one of your
out, dude.
spazzes.
It's just meta
I was
nonsense.
still stuck 30 seconds ago when
I'm asking
you were
very
asking.
specific questions about the evidence.
You can't let me talk, can you? I think I'm
Because you're
done.
trying to meta, dude, and I'm not doing it. I want it.
Yeah, you're
Look,
not
I
talking.
try to focus very like a laser on evidence. I don't want to hear narrative. I don't want to hear spin. I don't want to hear anything. I want to see the actual evidence and how we know the evidence is true and how to evaluate its truth. That's
Okay.
it. I don't care about the fluff.
So earlier I established that video is
In-
data. I gave you video
You
proof
think no,
that
no.
hey, you
It's not
can
data.
watch this. You can watch this launch. You can watch this rotation around the Earth, and you can see. Hey, here's the weather patterns
You
in
haven't
Australia.
established it's a
Here's the weather
rotation around
patterns
the
in
Earth, dude. You're
Greenland.
proving the thing. Look, you're assuming the thing you're trying to prove is true. It's called affirming the consequent. You haven't established it's rotating around the Earth. You understand?
Okay. Did you forget the part where you can view this with your naked eye?
You can view a satellite go around the Earth with your naked eye. From where?
When it passes in front of the moon, you absolutely can. In my
because it
example,
passes-
I gave you a pair of binoculars.
Okay,
which
airplanes
really let
flying
you
in
be
front of
able
the
to see
moon. Are they
this.
going around the Earth?
Yes.
Airplanes
Are
are
they in
rotating
orbit?
around the Earth.
No.
But they look the same. It looks the same as with the spaceship,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
It looks the same as a bird going in front of the moon. It looks the same as
anybody
a
wanna
fucking
help this
bug
guy?
going in front of the moon. No, you've never observed that.
He
Okay?
thinks you
Yes, I
need
have.
help, Indio. He
I
thinks
did it-
you
I
need
did
No one
just
has
help.
last
ever
night.
observed an
Just
orbit.
last night I observed it. Just last
You
night.
didn't observe
was
an orbit of
joking last
anything.
night.
Yes, I did.
Indio,
Okay.
for the night, his joke about thinking that you need help from him. I mean, like
Yeah, it is.
this is a good
yeah.
joke though.
So you
Hilarious.
did not observe an orbit. You saw something move, and you inferred orbit from the loss of information.
No, you
You
didn't
left
listen.
the information
You
of the
didn't
full
listen.
orbit.
You didn't listen.
I
Here's the
do
facts.
listen. I know what
Here's
inference
the
is,
facts.
dude.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah,
All right, just hear me
the
out.
facts is
It's going to take 12 seconds. Hold your horses for 12 seconds. When I'm telling you that we can, we know when the launch is. We know when it's going to go. You know, it launches from Florida. We know when it goes over Australia, and we can see this from Australia, and we can track this, and we can predict this.
Okay. Did you do that?
And we have the video proof.
Oh yeah, really? We have video proof of us from Australia. Let's see it. From
I tried to
Australia.
link it. I don't.
The
I
ground,
still don't
dude.
have permission.
The
I still don't
ground.
have permission to put
From the
links in
ground?
the
Is
chat.
it from the ground?
The Colt has decided to silence my
Is it
links.
from the ground?
Yes.
Is it from the ground in Australia? Someone tracked.
To be fair, earlier we already went
Why
over
can't
this.
you answer
But
fucking
you're
simple
asking me.
questions that are yes or no?
You're asking me. I'm just going to keep talking if you're just going to keep interrupting. Earlier, you were asking me the same question, and I clarified with you that it sounds like what you want is not just video proof of the launch.
I want
but video
evidence
proof
for your
of the
claim.
observation in the ground in Australia predicting this launch. Is that what you want?
That's what you just claimed happened.
Okay, is that what you want? I'm
That's what you
asking
claimed
yes or no.
happened.
Yes or no. It's not that
I
hard.
want your evidence, dude. All
Okay, I
you
already
want to do
posted
is
it, but I'm muted right now in the chat.
Brother,
If you'd like me to post it again,
I'm an
unmute me in the
empiricist.
chat.
I'm an empiricist. I go with empirical evidence.
Okay,
I don't go
you're a
with
fucking idiot. Why am I still muted in the chat? Let me post it.
I don't know who muted you, and I don't know why you're muted.
Hey,
I don't undo
send it to
people's
me.
mutes.
Send it to me. I'll post it for you. Send it to me.
Really simple. I'm an empiricist. I want evidence. I don't want your storytelling. Okay. You know what times it fucking launched from fucking Cape Canaveral or whatever it launched from. So what? You said then we can track it and we can do this. You didn't do any of that shit. Someone told you some shit. Okay. You heard some hearsay. What I want is empirical evidence that shit is doing what it said.
How much evidence do you need? What kind of evidence
not
do you need? Because
empirical
we can
evidence.
get GPS data in the middle of the ocean. We have
GPS
Starlink in
uses Earth
places that
Center.
didn't
You're
have
going to
signal
embarrass yourself.
before.
Stop. GPS uses a coordinate system called Earth-centered Earthfix,
Yeah,
which is
okay. I know you're on the script, but if you'd let me finish,
okay,
you'd
but
respond to
GPS
the
is
whole
not
thing.
evidence of a globe because it doesn't use fucking globe geometry, dumb fuck. Just because it says longitude on your fucking phone doesn't mean that's what the receiver uses.
When I said we can get signal out at sea when we couldn't before,
That's because there's no fucking vol
it
in the
goes
way.
beyond GPS.
There's no vol in the way. That's why you can get a signal at sea. There's LoRa transmissions at sea level that are 800 fucking miles because there's no vol in the way. There's 1918 radio transmissions at 10,000 miles because there's no fucking vol in the way. You only think it's fucking unbelievable because you think there's a big fucking hill of water between point A and point B. There's not.
So are you under the impression that before satellites we could have achieved data in the ocean? Far off the coast.
Farthest transmission in 19 miles.
Satellites,
listen to me really
carefully.
For
satellites, maintain satellites.
Never needed satellites at all.
They're all lying to us.
They were never required to ever make a transmission. In 1918, they communicated Cornwall, United Kingdom to Sydney, fucking Australia. And the reason they even tried to do it is because they were listening to fucking German radio from Berlin in Australia. There's no ball in the way. That's why you can listen to the fucking German radio in Australia. Fucking
how was the quality?
Admiral Byrd fucking gave a weekly radio show from Little America in Antarctica, directly transmitted to fucking Long Island, New York, which was 9,600 miles. How do you do that? Recently, there was a LoRa chirp that was 800
what was the
miles
transmission
sea level.
That you're describing?
What do you mean, what was the transmission?
Because I think the megahertz matters, right?
Does it?
Yeah, my understanding is that, long transmission waves propagate better than short bursts, depending on if we're going for distance.
Yeah, that's right, because they have more power.
And it bounces off
And they
the
don't attenuate.
atmosphere.
They don't
or the
bounce off of
firmament.
anything. That was a
Oh, they don't.
post hoc. That's a
Okay.
post hoc excuse, dude. Meaning that idea was invented
Can
after
you
the
prove that
transmissions.
claim?
Yeah, the Kinnickabine radio transmissions, the Kinnickabine radar bombing system. The Kinnickabine bombing system was 2 towers that intersected over England. That they flew planes, and when you were flying to the intersection point, that was your cue to drop bombs. Well, too bad England was 11 miles under the fucking horizon. So how did they drop bombs? How did they freaking pick up a signal?
Were the planes that far under the horizon too?
In World War II, planes didn't fly at 11 miles. These were propeller airplanes, and they had to bomb from 8,000 feet.
I agree with that statement.
They had to bomb from 8,000 feet. So this is where it gets fucked up, because the British, the regular scientists, thought, well, they can't be doing that. That's impossible. It's a globe. And one guy was like, yeah, well, Earth might be a globe, but they're fucking doing it because we overheard them talking about it in the jail cell. So they looked for it. He had to get permission directly from Winston Churchill, because all the other scientists go and kick rocks. Earth's a globe. So he went and he found the signal, and then they jammed it. Point is, people literally died because they thought Earth was a globe. Literally. Now, the whole point about this satellite stuff, there's no way to verify any of it. There's no way to test it. There's no way to.
I already gave you examples. You just reject all of it.
How can we test it? It's
I
not a
can
matter of
visually observe
rejection.
launches.
It's a matter of why should I
and-
believe it?
in both YouTube and in real life, which I've
Give me
done.
what? No, you have not. You've never seen a satellite orbit the Earth. Never.
I saw 3 last night. Not even
Okay.
kidding.
How long did you see them?
They were fleeting.
It's 3 seconds, 10 seconds.
Yeah, I would say maybe 5.
Okay. Did they orbit the Earth in 5 seconds?
I was chasing them with my telescope's guide scope.
Okay. Did they
And,
orbit the Earth in that time
that's
period that
fast.
you were watching them?
I don't think they made a full orbit. No.
Yeah, that's right. You've never seen anything orbit the Earth. You inferred an orbit from seeing something in the sky for a little while. Okay, that's a
But
fact.
that same telescope I can track, and I can tell my buddy in Australia on the other side of the Earth.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
Bo,
could, but you never did.
Hey, bro. Hey, look up in the sky and watch the same telescope that I just saw crossing my vision. I don't know, 12 minutes ago, whatever it might be.
Yeah, that's a cool story, but you never did that.
Okay, but you can, right?
How do you know
You
that?
can
You've
right
never
now.
done it. How did
No,
you
no, no,
know
no.
that?
Here's how I know that. Because I have an app that
Because
tells
I
me where the
extra believe it.
telescopes are.
Because I have an
Okay,
app.
are you going to keep interrupting? See how you just
You're
can't
getting
handle
more and
yourself?
more ridiculous.
Somebody
You're not
help this
telling me
guy.
how you know anything. You're telling me how you think somebody else knows it.
Take a breather. Try
Okay.
to listen.
I am
instead of
listening.
talking.
I am listening.
All you're doing is
don't-
talking and you're
You
don't-
responding.
Brother,
You're
you
not
don't
even
hear your-
following.
You don't hear yourself. All you're doing is referring to third parties. When I ask you what you know,
No,
you
I
don't
told
know
you
anything.
First-hand
and you have to-
observation was a part of this.
Yeah, the first-hand observation was 10 seconds.
And
Indio, he
And
sent
that's
me the
it.
first
The
time
rest of the
knowledge.
stuff you're talking about was made up in your head.
And so when I tell you that my buddy in Australia that I'm on the cell phone with, he saw the same thing.
With your
wind
boyfriend?
predicted
Yeah, but he didn't
12
because
minutes
it
later.
didn't happen. You already admitted it.
Okay, just follow my example. Why
Yeah,
is
if I
this so
would have,
hard for you?
yeah, and if fucking look, bro, I'm not
it's so
doing
hard for you.
hypothetical woulda, coulda, shoulda. What are you trying to convince people of?
This is
your
real life.
imagination
This is real
true.
life. You just
Real
don't have
life
friends
is
in
your
Australia.
imagination. You never did it. How is it real life if you never did it?
In the same sense, I can call my friend in Australia and say,
my
"Hey,
God,
is
you're
the light out?" Okay, well, it's dark here and the sun's there. In the same sense, I can do that and predict when, where, how much. I can also do that with satellites in the
Can't do
night
that.
sky.
You actually can't do that because the solar time doesn't use a globe to predict when it happens. So you're just making shit up as you go along, telling us what you think is true.
If solar time doesn't predict when it happens, what
time
does?
does not
And
use
give
a
me a
globe.
wristwatch based off of
Solar
that.
time does not use a globe, dude.
Okay.
The predictions of solar time, time and date, sun calc, all those apps don't use a globe to predict when the sun rises, when the sun sets, when solar noon is. All
Does
that
it
shit
predict
doesn't
when
use.
it's nighttime in USA versus daytime in Australia? Does it predict
There's
that?
a model. There's a model that
does?
predicts those things. Hold on. There's a model that predicts those things, but it's not a globe Earth model. It is an observer-centric model where you are at a point at the origin of coordinates. You're not on top of anything. You're not on a globe. You're not on a flat Earth. You're not on a freaking blade of grass.
You're talking through your ass.
No,
When I'm talking about knowing it's going to be daylight in one place and nighttime in another,
I'll bet you 100 Bitcoin that what I said is 100% accurate. Everything I said is 100% accurate. You guys just don't like it. That you have explanations that and then you think the model and the explanation are the same thing, but they're not. The mathematical model and the mathematics within the model are not the same thing as your explanation. They're not equivalent.
No other flat earths here that are reasonable, don't interrupt, and can address what I'm actually saying?
Yeah, we know what you're saying. You're saying you think that something would happen if you did something, but you've never actually done it. But that's also real life because you imagine.
I have done it. I've watched a launch. I've predicted where the launches are going to be, and I've accidentally seen orbiting satellites around our Earth.
You don't know they were orbiting.
But I do know that the prediction apps that were true are based off of a round Earth.
No, you don't know that. They're actually based off of Keplerian orbital
You think they're lying
element.
to me?
Bro. No.
If you go Google right now,
orbits are
what map
using
does Google Maps use?
Brother,
It's a projection map based on a round Earth.
That's just a
with
graphic.
reality, bud.
Just like Google Earth is a graphic that projects a globe out of a
You're
cylinder.
all over the place.
No, Google Earth is a cylinder mathematically, but it projects it as a globe. You think because you see a graphic that underneath the graphic they're using a globe, but they're not. Orbits are predicted using ephemeris, which uses Kepler's orbital elements, which has an origin of coordinates and doesn't suppose it's on a globe.
I'll have a
You have no idea how any of this shit works. You have an explanation in a story, and all you're looking is confirmation of your fantasy.
No, I'm giving evidence to my claim.
Evidence
and all you're doing is whining like a little bitch. Address my arguments instead of whining and interrupting.
What argument did you make exactly?
You interrupt with what argument?
Yeah, what argument did you make?
Is that the world that we live in, we utilize round Earth philosophies.
That's not true.
Whether it be predicting,
you're ignorant.
Whether it be, let me see how you.
No, you're ignorant, dude. You're factually
Go cry
wrong.
me a river. Cry me a river.
You are factually wrong. Factually. You thought GPS used the globe.
Yeah, give an example.
Yeah, give it. Yeah, there you go, T-Dub. Give an example.
Give an example of the round Earth that we live in. Well, the apps that you and I use every day, whether it be
show the data. Maps, I asked you this earlier, bro.
One sentence
about your
and
app that predicts star positions, and I said, "How do you know that it uses globe to predict?"
Because it's in the developer notes. If you look at Google Maps, what they tell you is they use a projection map.
Show it.
I would love to link it, but I would love to post it, but I'm still muted from your cult.
Yeah, otherwise it's just Ipsy Dixit. They do.
He
How
sent
much
me
trust
the evidence.
bro, have we gotten out of you?
He sent me the evidence, guys. I'm gonna post it again. He sent it to me. Look, I posted the evidence that he sent me.
I sent him a YouTube video from 20 minutes ago.
Here you go, guys. He sent that to me as evidence of whatever he's talking about.
Hold on. This is your evidence? This?
Yeah, listen to this. All
Why?
right,
Why?
keep whining.
I
Is this your
want to
act?
ask you a question.
But keep
No,
going. We're
no, I want
applauding
to
for
ask
an
you a question
encore.
about it. I
Keep
want to ask you a
whining.
question
No,
about it.
no, no. I love
No,
the
I want to ask
whining.
you
Don't ask
questions about
questions.
your evidence.
More whining.
I'm asking you questions about your evidence. No one's whining. You have to try to
You're
intentionally
whining all
mischaracterize
day,
it.
all
Because you
night.
can't defend this. There's no way you can defend this.
Okay, I'm all ears.
You think that
Go
this is
for
what
it,
the Earth
princess.
looks like from the ISS?
Yes.
You think that this is what the Earth would look like from the ISS? That's what you
Already
think.
answered. If you'd stop talking,
Okay,
you'd hear
so
me.
the ISS would only see 3% of the Earth. So you think that this little subsection is what, 1% of the Earth, this little piece? See, the ISS shouldn't show any curvature. It's not high enough.
Do you see how you're already
Because
going off on your script?
if you look at the
You're not
Chinese
even talking
space
to me. You're
I am
literally just
talking to
following
you.
the script. You're no better
What
than like an
script?
Indian
I didn't know
hacker.
how would I have a
But
script
ju-
for something I
but
didn't
ju-
even know you were gonna
But all you're doing is
Bro,
sophistry.
Bro, stop it. How would I have a script with something I didn't even know you were gonna post?
Oh, don't redeem! Don't redeem!
How would I know I have a script with something I didn't know you were gonna post?
The script that you're repeating is
Am I a
from
psychic
this,
scripter?
the
Yeah.
script that you saying about this ISS altitude and the percentage. That's his script, India. Don't.
Oh, my script is that the mathematics. Should I cite different mathematics?
Yeah, the point is that you're not addressing the video.
I
and that
am
it tells
addressing
you
it. I'm addressing its authenticity.
can you let me finish? When the video tells you
Don't
when
start
it
your
happened,
fucking
when it
goddamn
was
statements
filmed.
with
Okay,
poisoning
I'm
the
done.
well.
Thanks,
Bro.
guys. It was really fun.
Yeah, that's right. Don't start your statements with poisoning the well. Okay, that's the problem.
I can actually have a conversation instead of
can you
spazzing
start
out.
your
I'm
statements with
all
poisoning the
ears.
well?
Until then, I'm done talking with this retard.
And fuck off, dude. You can't defend this at all. That's why you don't want to talk.
He's driving
you can't
because
defend
Here
this
comes
at
the
all.
grandstanding. The
I wanna-
whining grandstanding. Here it
I want to
comes.
see you defend this. Everything you say is meta and posturing. Okay? I've been only trying to talk about the evidence directly, and you don't want to. You want people to go, oh, I trust Bro and Bro's stories about what should and could have happened, even though he's completely fucking ignorant about
Is that your
how
response to
anything
my
actually does work.
my high res video from the ISS on May 17th?
How do you know that,
2025?
dude?
Is that your response?
My question is, this video, how can this be from the ISS when the view from the ISS should not look like that?
Prove that it should not look like that.
Okay, I'm going to post a quote from Paul
What's your
Larson.
claim?
I'm going to post a quote from Carl Larson.
Oh wow!
Paul
Guys,
Larson.
make way for this studious student
Well,
here who's going to post a quote from some guy I've never heard of.
Well, he was a finalist for going to Mars, so you should have heard of him, because that's your cult.
He's like the subject matter expert of what you're talking about. He's like the highest priest of what you're
What am I
preaching.
talking about? What am I talking about? Just answer
this
that.
video.
No, not you. Not you. That other guy that just jumped in. He has no answer.
So you see this? This is Paul Larson. That's a scale model. That white circle right there, that's what the entire circle of the horizon would be from the International Space Station. And the ISS would be a dot in the middle of it. Now, from the viewpoint of the ISS, that shit would look flat. Paul Larson says, let's say you are at the elevation of the ISS, you're about 250 miles above the Earth, and we calculate the horizon line for the ISS, it's about 1,400 miles. If you're sitting at the point looking 360 degrees, what would the horizon look like? It would look flat. Paul Larson, planetarium director. I also have a GeoGebra diagram, and we also have photographs that China claim are from the same elevation as the ISS to show a flat fucking horizon.
Do you think that Mars astronaut would agree that there's only a flat Earth?
Who cares? That's irrelevant.
No. But you're forcing him for this claim that, hey, this is the field of view of of a person at the ISS. So you're going to take him for face value there. But if we ask him, mathematics, what?
It's mathematics, dude.
You wanted to interrupt to tell me mathematics. What do you want to tell me?
Dude, I'm not trusting him. It's a geometric certainty that what he said is true. It's a mathematical fact.
Okay, but what he
says for a real simple
not
reason
true
too.
When he says that we orbit around the Earth,
he doesn't know that to be a mathematical fact.
You don't think so?
This is a geometric. How would he know?
Well, I can pull an app out of my phone right now and tell you when the ISS is going to orbit my house.
App doesn't tell me how you would know, though.
Oh, but it does the math, and the math that it uses.
How do you know what it does? You don't have no idea what it's doing behind there.
I don't need to see behind the curtain to know that it works because I can verify that it works.
So what? Lots of things work.
Great, and you don't need to peer behind the curtain of an elevator to justify getting on board an elevator, right?
Epicycles work to predict the positions of planets. So what? But you don't think the epicycles
if you're making
are really
claims
happening?
about how the elevator works, bro, yeah, it does matter.
Epicycles was the old way of predicting where the planets are. It works better than the current Keplerian model. It works. Is it true?
Okay, give me the app that uses that method and not the globe.
Every planetarium in existence.
Hello, can I ask?
Every planetarium,
planetarium
in the planetarium, when they project the planets onto the fucking dome, they use the epicycle Ptolemaic model to do that.
Okay. When you project something onto the ceiling, it's a little bit different than what's actually happening on Earth, right?
How do you know that? It's the same view.
Because I can use these apps that aren't projectors. I can use these apps and they predict the future. Whereas a planetarium, it doesn't matter where they set up their hologram or their projector system.
Have you never been to a planetarium?
They're not predicting what's going to happen 1 second from now.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
The Ptolemaic model was used for centuries to predict where the planets would be seen in the sky.
Okay, but you're arguing that these planetariums have some analog model that the projection is based off
because they can just make it out of gears. Yeah, they do.
It's all digital.
The one that's literally down the street, dude.
They're not projecting from an analog model.
Look, it was made by
projecting
MIT.
From digital images.
No, it's not, dude. You're wrong. You're just talking shit. There's one literally fucking down the street at the Omni Mugen fucking Theater at the Museum of Science down fucking Cambridge Street. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're a bullshit artist.
You're projecting off of analog models.
You are a bullshit artist, and I am calling you out.
Is that what they're doing at your theater?
You are a bullshit artist, lying fucking snake.
You're projecting off of analog models?
No, they have a literal physical gear system.
Physical gear system.
A physical gear system. Yes, that's right.
That's great. And do you think that there's gears tied to Earth, Mars, the moon, and the rest of the solar system?
Your argument was it works, therefore it's fucking true, dude. It works, therefore it's true. This is called a reduction to absurdity. So this would also be true.
Okay.
That the Ptolemaic model is true because it works.
These gears, if I'm assuming if they're as rudimentary as they are not true. Whereas
why not?
These software programs are. So my point is,
how did you determine that?
It might be true. These gears might be true today, May 17th, 2025.
God damn it, dude.
But a year from now, the moon's position relative to the Earth is probably not true. I don't think that these observatories, these planetarium. What did you call them? Thank you.
It's a planetarium. Did you
I don't think they're going to be. They're not trying to represent perfect, true life. When I'm talking about these apps, they are, and they do.
You've never been to a planetarium. They will go back 4,000 fucking years and tell you what the sky looks like.
Planetarium.
Okay, but they can give you any time and date and show you what the
when
sky
they do
looks
that,
like.
They're using computer programs.
They're not using a computer, dude.
They're not rotating an analog geared device back 4,000 years.
Yes,
they're not doing that.
Yes, they are.
You're full of shit.
dude. I'm not full of
Can
shit.
you imagine that model that in your head, the model that the place down the street from you fucking has? Can you imagine that model rotating 4,000
It has
times?
gears. You not know how gears work?
Oh, okay. So gears makes this a magical analog system. Please send me a link. I'd love to see it.
He's just gonna
It
hand
must
wave
be a
it.
work of art.
It actually is.
Which is
I'm
bigger
waiting for the
than
link.
Each gear is a motion of the planet, and all they do is turn it. And the motions of the planets happen over and over and over again. In the precession of the equinox, so they just move the celestial sphere, they rotate it against the background of the planets. The planets are always in the same place. The only thing that changes in the back is the background stars. You don't know what you're talking about, bro. You're out of your depth.